Good evening, I'm Dr. Fred Rouse, the Real Money Doctor, and it's currently 7 o'clock, just a minute or so, on Saturday, April 25th. And I want to do today's daily recap of events that affect the way you get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement. Today the question is there a face behind the numbers? And we're going to get to that in just a minute. So, one of the biggest things that affects your ability to get, protect, and enjoy your money, life, and retirement right now is obviously the COVID situation. It's the only thing that's been in the news in some way, shape, or form for the last 4 months. And we start today like we start every other day by just keeping track of what's happening. Right now, okay, the U.S. has over 929.7 thousand cases. Okay, over 53,000 deaths right now in just 9 weeks. The death rate, if you get COVID, is about 5.5%. Now, not all bad news. There is some good news, some slight good news. Okay, 99.7 thousand people that had COVID actually recovered. And that recovery rate is roughly 9%, which isn't totally encouraging, but it's not ridiculous either. Now, New York State has 282,000 cases and over 22,000 deaths. 17,000 of those are in New York City by itself. New Jersey governor is having a hard time there. He's still got 105,000 cases right now and 5.9 thousand cases that are dead. 5.9 thousand people died in New Jersey right now. And the numbers keep growing every day. And we discuss that every day. And again, each one is an individual tragedy. And it's taken a toll on individuals and families as well as the communities. Well, today I found a story in a Chicago newspaper, and it puts a face to some of the numbers. And I want to relay that story now. The face is a Chicago nurse, Josephine Tapereau. Okay. She'd been pulling extra shifts, working basically from 9 a.m. till sometimes 11 o'clock because on the north side nursing home that she was working in, okay, they were getting short-staffed, okay, because other people were getting sick. So she was filling in so that the patients actually had some care. So she kept a close watch on her temperature, and it was still 98, and she thought she was fine, no problems at all. And after clocking out on April 3rd from the Parkview Rehab where she was working, okay, Josephine told her friend that her throat was sore and she was coughing a little bit. So she stopped by a drugstore, picked up a bottle of NyQuil, and went to bed as soon as she got home. Sometime that night, she slipped into a coma. COVID-19 was just about to take a really terrible toll on her family. Josephine was taken to the intensive care unit at St. Francis Hospital in Evanston. Her husband would be admitted just 3 weeks later, or actually just within a week. Okay, 4 days later, her son Louis, 20 years old, was found dead on the couch of their home. 4 more days passed before Josephine died too, without ever coming out of the coma. Now her friends and family waited, for a week almost, before, someone was finally removed from the ventilator. Okay, the husband was there, but they really waited because he was still in the ventilator. They didn't want to tell him while he was still there about his wife's death. The couple's lone surviving son watched the tragedy unfold from Ottawa, Canada, where most of his close friends and relatives actually lived. He said on the Friday that, I can't be there right now. And that's a tough thing. They were all feeling fine. I hadn't had the time to even think or grieve. His brother, one of the youngest in the Illinois, was to die of the disease. He played football at a high school there. He seemed healthy according to most friends and family. An autopsy revealed that he had no underlying medical conditions that contributed to his death from the COVID-19, which is really rare for somebody that young. But it happened. Okay, Louis was only 20. His mother Josephine was 56. They both died of COVID just this month. She and her husband both worked as caregivers in private homes and long-term care facilities for seniors. Josephine was a licensed practical nurse. She worked at Parkview Rehab in Edgewater. It was just a short drive from the family's high-rise apartment there in Chicago. Like nursing homes across the state, Parkview had seen an outbreak of COVID among its residents. The state data shows that at least 22 COVID cases and 3 deaths in that facility. But information coming out of nursing homes all over is a little shaky sometimes, and it's slow, mostly because nobody really wants to admit they've got an outbreak in their facility. Now, on March 21, Josephine was looking forward to a regular weekend with her chat with her friend. Okay, nothing was going on. She looked fine, and she had a busy week, and she wanted to catch up with her friends. Life was okay. It was fine. And her friend was really upset because one of her office friends, okay, was showing signs of a virus, but she was really mad because under state health guidelines, they weren't supposed to be in work if they felt ill. But Josephine was okay because she said the workers at her facility, they all wore masks, but she was still worried. On April 1, she told her friends that she was getting more and more worried as other staff people called out sick, and she was working longer hours now. On the morning of April 4th, her husband and her son Louis went to work and assumed that she was sleeping because she'd gotten home so late the night before. They checked on her later that day, but Josephine didn't pick up the phone. Sometime after lunch, Louis called his father and rushed home to check on Mom. He said, "Mom, my mom won't wake up." They called 911. The son began CPR. Josephine remained unconscious as she was taken to St. Francis Hospital. The next day, the hospital called and said she tested positive for COVID and was on life support. The father and son, both not feeling any real symptoms, went back home, and on Sunday, April 5th. Okay, but Dad started feeling a little weird. He said he had a sore throat but no cough. Monday and Tuesday happened, nothing dramatic, but he had a low-grade fever. On April 10, he also was taken to St. Francis and placed on a ventilator because he too tested positive for the virus. On April 14th, okay, 4 days later, after this, the father got taken to the hospital, okay, the son was found dead on the couch. Relatives found him as they went to come in and check on him. Found the son, 20-year-old, dead on the couch. 4 days after that, on April 18th, Josephine was pronounced dead at St. Francis Hospital. They didn't tell her husband until he was taken off the ventilator. Now, this thing really spreads fast. Okay? It doesn't necessarily show signs, but it kills quickly. It even kills people that are familiar with how to deal with it. She was a nurse. She knew what was going on. She worked in a healthcare facility. She knew what was supposed to be happening. But it still happened to her. Now, more and more people are dying every day. And the governor's been complaining, okay, from every state in the union, from late February through early March, that they can't get the testing that they need. Now, people think I'm bashing the president. Okay, whenever I simply report the facts, they think I'm bashing the president. And I'm really, really not. Okay, the fact is that to this day, the president has not used the Defense Production Act to take full charge of the supply line and the manufacture and to properly distribute the testing. Now, it doesn't matter what he says. It really doesn't matter what he says. The fact is, we as a nation have tested less than 1% of our population. The U.S. right now has lost more people in 4 months of this pandemic than were killed in 20 years of action in the Vietnam War. More people in just 4 months than 20 years of people killed in action in the Vietnam War. So you have to ask yourself, okay, what's the political or the financial reason he hasn't done it? That's a legitimate question. Now, I don't know, but somebody should really ask. I don't know what the answer is. Somebody should ask, though. And they shouldn't stop asking until they get an answer. No matter how much he tries to attack the person that's asking the question through his name calling or his attempts to misdirect. Okay, this is clearly 100% his responsibility. He can't shift this over to the governors. He can't shift this over to Congress. He can't blame it on one deep state or anybody else. This is 100% his responsibility. He is the only one who could order the Defense Production Act be put into place. He's the one who calls the shots on this. Nobody else. Like I said yesterday, okay, I get more than a few emails complaining that I'm bashing the president. And that's okay. I don't mind. I really don't. But every now and then I get a nice email. And today was one of those days. And I want to read it to you. Okay. It says, "Hi, Dr. Rouse. Okay. I'm one of your subscribers, and a big fan of yours. I recommended you to my family and friends. I just made a short video to lighten things up for folks that I feel is relevant. Please share this with your friends, family, and followers. Thanks again for all you do. Keep doing what you're doing. Joe. Well, I told Joe that I was going to mention his email tonight on the show. And Joe, I want to thank you for your kind words and for taking the time to share them with me through an email. The link that you posted, I'm going to put on my page later on tonight when I post this tomorrow on my YouTube channel, The Real Money Doctor. You'll be able to go to a link there, and then I'm going to have Joe's link. He thought it was sort of cute, and it's a cute little thing. I'm going to link to the video that he put together, and that'll be right underneath the present that I share every day. So, again, I appreciate you being here with me. I really have a good time. My only goal is to help you get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement. I'm Dr. Fred Rouse, the Real Money Doctor, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you.